Hey, this is Aaron with Scalability. Welcome to our Wednesday YouTube Live. For those of you who don't know, I'm live every Wednesday on our YouTube channel at Fast Scalability, talking about how to build systems, interviewing people that are crushing it, and ultimately doing live builds, answering questions, and teaching you how to do this in your business. So these are very practicals. Everything around our YouTube channel is how-tos on using the software and getting results with it. For those of you who don't know, I believe that God created for 6 days and then he set everything on autopilot so he could spend the rest of eternity in relationship with us. And I take that and I'm like, how do we use that and do that in our own businesses? How do we automate things and create systems so that we can stream and scale, so that we can multiply the business God gave us and spend our time in relationship with others? So every Wednesday, I jump on live. And as a Scalability subscriber, you can actually join these live Q&As and I'll go live, I teach something on YouTube, and then we end the stream and I answer your questions live and walk you through how to have success with the software. So that's what this whole thing revolves around, is helping kingdom-minded entrepreneurs multiply the business God gave you without denying the ministry God gave you, without denying relationships with people, without denying everything else that you have going on in life so that you can try to make money. Money's important, but not at the cost and the expense of actually making disciples that make disciples. And so we want to show you how to take the business that God gave you. Because if you've ever heard yourself say, God gave me this business, or God told me to do this for people, then I believe you are mandated to multiply that. I believe the Bible talks a lot about multiplying things. And so we want to help you do that. We don't want to just sell software and say good luck and we make money along the way. I want to multiply my giving. I can only make so much. I can only give so much. Even if I make millions or billions, I'm still going to be capped at some level. And so my way of multiplying that is by teaching other kingdom-minded entrepreneurs how to have success with what God gave them. Because if you're kingdom-minded, that means if I help you make a lot of money, you're going to give a lot of money. And so then I'm giving and you're giving. If I can help 1,000 people do that, then we have multiplied our giving, because 1,000 people are going to be giving back to the kingdom. And that's ultimately why I do this. That's why we don't have just a software company and just sell software. I want you to win. And so that's what these calls are. As long as you are a subscriber, you can jump backstage and we get extra time after these. If you're not a subscriber, you're welcome to listen and learn and apply this to whatever software you're using or practical things that you can use for anything that you have going on. Today, very specifically, I'm going to give you the keys to master your goals this year, because I want you to win and I'm tired of unrealistic goals. Nothing magical is going to change from December 31st to January 1st that all of a sudden you're going to be able to accomplish everything this year that you weren't able to accomplish last year or the year before. Most people set these lofty goals and then it all falls flat. And the reason is there's not practical action steps to make it work. So that's what we're going to talk about today. In the comments, if you're watching on YouTube, and today, because I'm kind of addressing, we're not live building in scalability today, I'm going to give you practical action steps that you can use this year to master your time and your schedule and take control of all of your goals, your business, your ministry this year. This is being streamed to our Facebook group, to my Facebook profile, and to our YouTube channel. So wherever you're at, I'm going to try to keep an eye on the comments. So I know I can see the YouTube comments right now as we're talking, and I will check the comments and everything afterwards as well. So if you guys aren't a subscriber and you're not backstage and you're not going to get live questions and interaction with me afterwards, it's fine. Put it in the comments. We will still help straighten you out because I want you to win. Okay? We just go above and beyond afterwards as well. So make sure you're putting in the comments anytime you have questions. If you like it, if you don't like it, put it in the comments. Perfectly fine. I use everything to grow and help get better. So you will not offend me. Give me your honest opinions. Okay, so most people, when it comes around January, they think some magic pill is going to happen. Oh, it's January 1st. I've got all these big things. I'm going to make $1 million this year. I'm going to lose 100 pounds. I'm going to be in the gym 2 hours a day. And then they set goals like that and it falls flat. Which, if you've been in personal growth and development for any amount of time, You've probably heard people talk about other people's goals. When people say, I want to make $1 million, it's typically not their goal. And they don't really want to make $1 million. It just sounds like a cool number and a cool accomplishment. Like, I'd like to build $1 million business. Yeah, it'd be cool. But do you really? Because there's a lot of things that come along with that. Oh, I'd like to have six-pack abs. Do you really? Because that means you're going to have to eat differently. You're going to have to show up consistently to the gym or do it at your house, but you're going to have to be consistent over a long time because nothing happens quickly. And so just throwing out ideas never works for people. That's why gym memberships spike, and then within 2 months, everybody's canceled and went back to their life. I don't wait till January to start my goals and to set my plan for the next year. I'm constantly reviewing. Every single Monday, I do a review. Where am I spending my time? Is it where God's told me to? Is it the business? Am I working on the business? Am I spending time with people, discipling people? Are my eyes even open to the people around me? Or have I focused in on my work to where I'm missing my family and I'm missing discipleship and I'm not pouring into anywhere else? I audit it every single Monday so that we can be constantly dialing and making changes, because now I only have 7 days that I have to try to make this work. But every 7 days we're reviewing instead of once a year like most people do. So the reason I'm not waiting until January to do this, or, we still have a couple weeks left of December, I'm not going to wait and do some New Year's thing. It's because I'd rather you start now. Don't tie it to January 1st. Don't do your goals. Don't take control of your life on January 1st, because nothing's going to change January 1st. I want you to take control of your life right now, last month, 6 months ago, mid-year. It's never too late. It's never a bad time. You should constantly be checking yourself to make sure you're moving in the direction you want, having a clear vision. So I'm not going to go into full goal setting and everything else. I want to give you a practical exercise. So when you have your goals, whatever you decide, if it's $1 million or if it's making your first 100K or if it's losing 30 pounds, most of you are going to commit to something. And the problem is, once you commit to it, a lot of us go, now what? We sign up for software. It's like, okay, well, now the learning begins, but I thought it would just happen. God gave me this business idea, and so I'm doing it, but it's been 2 months and it's just not working for me. Noah waited 104 years for the flood that God told him was coming. Like, it's not going to happen in 2 months. If God gave you something, you're mandated to multiply it. So take the time to invest in it. Stick with what he's given you and work on it consistently and audit it and move forward. But what are those actionable steps, right? And so a lot of times, the reason people fall off of their goals or don't get what they want done that they said they were going to is the biggest excuse I hear: Aaron, I don't have time. Why'd you stop coming to this? I just don't have time. I ran out of time. The kids are doing this. We got all these sports. We got all this stuff. I don't have time to go to the gym and do this and do this. I don't have time. I don't have time. Because time is the one thing that you have a limited amount of and you can never get back. But what a lot of people don't understand, because they either haven't thought about it or they just don't know how to do it, is some people have 24 hours of the day. They're making millions. They got six-pack abs. Their families love them, and they're making disciples. Other people got 24 hours in the day, and they run out of time for everything. Why? It's not that you don't have time. It's that you don't respect your time. You don't block your time. You don't respect your time. So nobody around you respects it either. And the world will take, because everybody wants what's best for them. And so in order for you to make any goal you set this year actually work, you're going to have to first choose to respect your time. It's the only thing you can't get back. And the older and older you get, and the more you start to reason with the idea that this life will not last forever, you are an eternal being, but you will shift to a spiritual being at some point. We all die. It's guaranteed. It's like one of the only things that's guaranteed in this life. We all die. And the more you come to terms with that, the more you're able to understand the value of the time that you give to everything. I value my time very highly. I ask God where he wants me to go and what he wants me to do very often. I am constantly, somebody wants to hang out. I'm like, hey, I really don't have time for everything, So like, let me look at my calendar. Let me kind of see what happens. When I say that, that means I'm going to go talk to God and I'm going to be like, Lord, is this somebody you want me to pour into? Is this somebody that you have to pour into me? Is this a relationship I should be a part of? Because if I just go do everything for everybody, then I miss what God has for me because my time is limited, right? Jesus walked right past a bunch of people that needed healing at the pool of Bethesda so that he could heal that one crippled guy so that God could be seen and other things could happen. Jesus walked by people that needed healing to heal someone and didn't heal everybody. Yet we will run around chasing everything. We think that every time somebody needs something, we need to help them. False. You need to stop and ask God if that's somewhere you're supposed to help. Like, we're supposed to be in relationship with God and then doing what he has called us to do. In relationship and making disciples that make disciples. Like, literally, if we just check everything to that, it will guide what you have going on. So if God gave you a business, that means he trusts you with it. That means you've been called to reach people, help people. I believe what I'm doing will help people multiply what God's given them. And if I don't help and do these things and help teach you the things that I have available that will help you, then you may not hear them. Or maybe this is the first time you hear them and you kind of take it in, and then you'll hear it a few more times and then it'll start to sink in. Maybe I'm planting a seed and we can kick it off. But if I don't do my part and figure out how to do my part to the best of my ability and multiply what God gave me, then there's a lot that doesn't happen. And I want to try and help 1,000 plus kingdom-minded entrepreneurs build a business that wins this year. Kingdom-minded means God gave it to you and you want to pour back into the expansion of the kingdom of heaven on earth here. It all starts with your time. You sit down with the best coaches in the industry and they are going to sit down, pull out your calendar and go, where are you spending your time right now? Every single Monday, that's what I'm doing. Where's my time going? I'm looking at it and I'm figuring that out. Because if you lose your time, that's when all those excuses set in of, I don't have time. I don't get to the gym. I don't have time. I don't spend enough time with my kids. I don't have time. I don't build my business because I'm busy doing this. I don't have time. It's always a time issue. So I want to give you guys a practical exercise that I've taught for years now. Every single one of my one-on-one coaching clients and any group stuff I've ever done, it has always started with this. Fast scalability. The FAST part is an acronym. It's foundation, automation, systems, traffic. We talk a lot about automation, systems, traffic, building stuff, and putting pieces in place. Today, going into 2024, everybody's setting new goals, so I want to help you with foundation. And this is literally where I start with every single client. So it's not like a throwaway piece. This will help all of the rest of it succeed for you this year. You can throw out the I don't have time excuses and actually get some things done, because all you have to do is choose. And when I say respect your time, I'm going to give you an exercise. We're going to walk through it. I'm literally going to share my screen and I'm going to show you exactly how to do it. And then I'm going to pull up a calendar. I'm going to show you exactly how I plug things in. And I'm going to show you how to master your time right now. I'm going to show you how to take control of it and master it. So anything you want to do this year, I'm going to show you how to make that work in your day. And that's what we're going to do today in just a second. But what I need you to do before that is to make a decision to understand how valuable your time is. Because when I said the world will take from you if you allow it, that means everybody has a deadline. And they're like, oh, we have to get this done. Can you get it done now? Their emergency does not constitute an emergency on your part. Because most likely they had a day, 3 days, 5 days, a month to get that done. And they waited till last minute to do it themselves. And now that's why they need you to rush and get them your piece for them. But the fact that they waited till the last minute to get it done does not mean that you have to rush now. But until you understand the value of your time, we immediately feel a rise inside of us of people pleasing. I need to help them out. It's an emergency. No, it's their emergency. That's not cold-hearted. It's understanding that your relationship is with God. And does God tell you to drop everything and go fix that right now? Because sometimes there is, right? I've been in the middle of When I was in Tupelo, Mississippi, I did precision fit with Ironman athletes, where I would spend 2 to 4 hours in a room with lasers and cameras dialing in the body and the bike of Ironman athletes so that they could actually run a full marathon after biking 112 or 114 miles. Like, it was a lot of work. It was very, very detailed, very intimate, spent a lot of time. My wife, um, I don't remember if it was a call or a text, but she says that my daughter just had a seizure and the ambulance is on the way. That's an actual emergency that constitutes my time. So I walk out of this fit that I'm in the middle of and I drive like an idiot all the way through town, speeding through town to get to where my daughter is. That's an actual emergency. Most of you are reacting to emails and text messages like they're emergencies, like something's wrong with your kid. And it doesn't constitute an emergency. You have things that you're working on. And if your personal time, your gym time, your God time, your discipling one-on-one with someone else, your community, your paid clients, all of those are your things that if your relationship with God is in place, then those things have been given to you by God to steward. And when you ignore what God's given you to steward because someone else isn't managing their time properly, you're now being a poor steward of yours. Like, we have to understand that in order to multiply what God's given us, we have to get very protective of this time. God's given us a vapor in the wind, and that is our entire lifetime. And He's got things for us to do. So we have to pay attention to those. So all this to say, of course, get control of your mindset around your time. You are pouring into people when God has called you to, and blocking that time out and respecting that time where people, okay, can you help me with this? No, I'm sorry, I'm busy. And you look at your calendar and it's literally you going to the gym and then reading your Bible for an hour and a half. Yeah, I'm still busy. That's my time. Oh, I need you to work late tonight. Sorry, I can't. Why? I'm busy. I have time blocked out with my children and my wife for dinner. I can't make it because my time with them is more important than working overtime for you. If you understand the limited amount of time, then you can make that decision. But if you don't understand the value of your time, you think the extra dollars and your boss's opinion is more important than your time. And that's why we give it to them. If you don't understand the value of your time, when other people have that emergency, you're like, okay, I'll help you. If you don't understand the value of your time, every time you get an email, you think you need to respond. Yet, if you've dealt with me at all over the past 5 years, some of you have waited 2 and 3 days for responses. Because, like, I have things that I'm working on, and there is not enough time in the day if I sit around and respond to every single thing that comes through all the time. There's no way. That's why we do these group sessions every week, is because this is me multiplying and scaling it. If I can bring all of you together in one place, I can help a bunch of you win all at once. And so this is how I figure out and how I structure my time. Every one of you can send me a question during the week. I'll get to them when I can. If I don't, I'll address them here. But that's just the way that I have to structure the time. All of you have to do the same thing. Everything you're doing is important or should be removed. And so moving into 2024, don't think about what are all the amazing, like, I'm going to make $1 million and get a six-pack. Like, that's probably not what you really want. $120,000 a year is 10 grand a month. It solves most people's problems. Let's double it and say 20 grand a year. That's still only 240 or 300 a year or something like that. 240, something like that. And it's not $1 million. But what would change in your life if you made 20 grand every single month consistently? An awful lot, right? So set realistic goals so then you can set steps to actually hit them. And then it's where are they going in the calendar? How are we going to make this work? So I use a exercise that I call basically making 3 lists. So we're literally going to do it right now. You can grab a piece of paper, 3 notes in your phone. I don't care what you're using. A Google document. I'm going to use a Google document so that I can show you what it looks like. But we're going to make 3 lists: have-tos, flexibles, and your wants. So if you're going to use your phone, make 3 different notes or 3 different categories. You're going to say have tos is one list, flexibles is one list, wants is one list. Okay. And so I'm going to screen share real quick and we'll just do this. Okay. So I literally just pulled up a Google Doc right here. We're going to say first list, have tos. I'm just going to triple space a bunch down. Flexibles. I don't even know if that's how you spell it. Wants. I'm pointing this out because I don't want you to overcomplicate this. Okay? I want to show you how easy this is to get started. Have tos. What are your have tos, your flexibles, and your wants? You always start with your have tos because every single one of us has things we have to do. That's what it stands for. Have tos. If you have a W-2 job and God's given you a business idea, or you're trying to launch your coaching platform or whatever it is, or you have a ministry or you're discipling people, doesn't really matter. If you have a W-2 job, you probably revolve your entire life around that job, which means you have to be there from 9 to 5, 8 to 5. So let's say it's 8 to 5 at your job. Most people would do this. They say, my W-2 job, and they would say, I have to be there 8 to 5. But that's false. Okay? You're not required to be there 8 to 5. We're basically going to make a checklist of everything that you have to do that has set times that you have to do it. Okay? So W-2 job, 8 to 5. False. You don't have to be there 8 to 5. You have to be there from 8 to 10, and then you get a 15-minute break, right? So fact is 8 to 10, and then you have a 15-minute break. So then we're going to say you have to be there from 10:15 to, I'm just going to make the numbers easy, 10:15 to 12. And then you get a 1-hour lunch break, right? And then from 1 to 3, and then you get a 15-minute work break or a lunch break or 15-minute afternoon break. Then you have to work from 3:15 to 6, okay? And so I'm going to copy this. I'm literally just going to paste, and paste. So I've got W-2 job. I have to be there from 8 to 10, 10:15 to 12, 1 to 3, and 3:15 to 6 o'clock. Okay? What else do I have to do? What else is a have to? I have to do this at this time. Let's say, well, I have to get up at 6 o'clock. I have to get the kids up at 6 so we can be, I don't know, in the car at 7 to have the kids there by to school and be able to actually get back to work. Okay. So you see, I homeschool and I work online, so I have no idea what the actual times are. So don't hold me accountable if the times are off. But a lot of people are like, well, I have to get up at 6 so that I can get the kids around because we have to be in the car at 7 because we have to be to school and I have to be to work at 8 o'clock. And I got a 30-minute commute and this and that, right? So we know I have to get the kids up at 6 or we're not going to be in the car at 7. I have to be in the car at 7 or I don't have time to drop them off at school and get back to work because I have to be to work at 8. These are have tos. I have to do this at a very specific time. Okay? So everything that you have to do at a specific time, list it like this with the detailed times. Then we're going to move on to flexibles. I'm not going to go through absolutely everything because I want you to spend some time with this and I don't have time to go through everything in an entire day. But I want to give you the concept so that you can keep working this and dialing this in. Flexibles. What are flexibles? Flexibles are things that have to be done, but the time you do them doesn't matter. So like the dishes, the laundry, cleaning the house, eating meals, things like that, right? We have to do the dishes, we have to clean the house, but it doesn't really matter if I do it on my 1-hour lunch break or if I do it at 1 o'clock in the morning after the family's asleep and I've done everything else I want to do, right? We have to do it, but it doesn't really matter when. So let's say laundry, meals, we'll say dishes, right? There's all these things that have to be done for you to continue having a life because they have to be done or the house falls apart, the family falls apart, and everything falls apart. So they have to be done, but when I do them doesn't really matter. Now, what are wants? Because this is our third category. I want to get a few things in here because I want to show you how to actually put this together and make it work. Your wants are everything else you want to do, which for a lot of you, stuff you haven't been doing, but you're going to set some fancy goal now for January 1st, and you're going to say, this year I'm going to learn how to play the guitar. This year I'm going to read 5 books. This year I'm going to lose 30 pounds. But you haven't been doing that before. So it hasn't been a part of your schedule before. You've never actually done those things. That's why you still don't know how to do them, right? Or it's time to get serious about them. So you set these goals. Those are wants. So let's say play the guitar. Read, we'll say 12 books. Okay, some people set big goals and everything else. So I want to give you an example. We've got a list of our have-tos. Now understand this is going to take some time to dial in, and you're going to dial it in. You're going to start putting it into your calendar, blocking out the time, and then you're going to check that thing like it is your guide to life. Like you live your life in respect of your calendar. You look at your calendar to tell you what to do and when to do it. When the calendar says time is up, move on to the next thing, you respect your time because it's limited and you move on. This is how those super successful people get more done in 24 hours. It's very blocked. Hey, we have to be out right now because it's 5 minutes walk to the car. It's a 15-minute drive to your next appointment. And then you're on live on the podcast 15 minutes after that. We need to go right now. Come on. And literally they'll have an executive assistant like standing there going, come on, we need to get moving. That's what an executive assistant does. It makes you follow your calendar. So the farther you move up, the more detailed this gets. Well, how do you take control of your life if you don't have an executive assistant? You have to be your executive assistant. You have to say, I respect my time and I will leave when time is up. Hey, we have an hour, so I got to go. We'll meet. I just have to go. We'll have to reschedule it, get back with the next one. Love the time. Great. Thanks for your time. It was so awesome. Have a great rest of your day. Bye. And then you leave. It's perfectly doable. I do it all the time. It's not rude when you get used to respecting your time, because people that don't respect theirs will keep you there all afternoon. And that's not valuable just because it was fun or good. If you block it out and it's fun time, that's fine. Take all the time you want. But don't give up things on your calendar. Okay, so we get the have-tos. You're going to put everything out have-tos. You're going to start blocking them into your calendar, which we're going to do in a second. But then as you start working these, you're going to find out, oh man, I had this to do, or I did this, like grocery shopping. Oh, I didn't put grocery shopping in my flexibles. So add it. Add it. And then when we add it, we're going to block it into the calendar. That way we know exactly when we're doing it so that we can actually get it done like we're supposed to. Okay? So we've got have-tos, flexibles, wants. Once you have a list of everything, you're going to start plugging them into the calendar. Now, a lot of you, over the years, I've noticed people struggle with this. I've got a list of my have-tos, my flexibles, my wants, but then I didn't really know how you meant to put them in my calendar. So I'm going to show you. We're going to take this list. We're going to pull up a blank calendar. This is a Google Calendar, but use whatever calendar you want. It can be a calendar on your desk. It can be written on paper. I don't really care, but you should live off of your calendar. That's how you respect your time and how you take control of it. If not, your time masters you, but you should master it. So I'm going to take a blank calendar here, and I'm going to look at my list. I'm going to say I've got my W-2 job from 8 to 10, 10, 15 to 12, 1 to 3, 3:15 to 6. I'm going to go to my calendar, and I'm going to say I've got from 8 to 10. I'm going to go 8. I'm going to drag this out to 10. I'm going to say W-2. I'm going to click right in here in the times. This is 8 to 10. I can click does not repeat. I can make it repeat. Let's say every weekday, Monday through Friday, because I work Monday through Friday. And then we can give it a color. So we can say, well, this is my W-2 job. It pays the bills, so I'm going to make it green. I'll remove my reminder and then click save. And boom, it cascades it across your calendar. We just blocked out 8 to 10, Monday through Friday. Now we've got 10:15 to noon. I've got to work. So I can click right in here, drag this down to 10:15. I can drag this out to noon. title it W2, make it repeat Monday through Friday, label it green, get rid of the reminder, save, boom. Okay, now I've got a 1 hour lunch break and I've got to work from 1 to 3. So I'm going to grab down here, 1, spread this out to 3, W2. You're starting to get the idea. It's not hard, but people will not do this. And if you do this, I guarantee you this is the difference between you getting everything done this year or not. Okay? You're starting to see here, we've got time laid out, 3:15 and 6. We've got time laid out, and we're starting to see white spaces in between. And that's what I'm going to show you here in just a second. Just by plugging in our W2 job, we start to see this is a have to, and then I've got this little white 15-minute window here. This is a have to. I have to be to work at that time, but then I've got this white 1 hour gap right here, right? And so I know now that if I plug in all my have tos, then I can go back with my flexibles, laundry, meals, dishes, grocery shopping, and I plug those into the gaps. And I say, okay, well, let's see, I work from home. So here, I'll throw the laundry in during this 15-minute break. Laundry is just something I have to do, so I'll leave that blue. And I'm going to say this is from 10 to 10:15 because I'm just throwing the laundry in. 10, 10:15. See how it's changing that gap? And then here we can say, well, I don't need to do the laundry every day. I just do it on Monday, or I just do it on Monday and Thursday. So we can click custom and we can say repeat every week on Monday and Thursday. And then click done, save, and it's going to cascade that Monday, Thursday, and it'll just keep going. Okay. Then I'm going to come back to my list. I'm going to say dishes. When will I do the dishes? Oh, I'll wash the dishes on my lunch break. So here I'm going to say I need 30 minutes for lunch. So I'll just block this from noon to 12:30. Repeats Monday through Friday because I work all week. And then this is house stuff. So I'll cascade that. I've got lunch from there. Now I'm going to say dishes. Dishes take about half an hour. So I'll wash the dishes on my lunch break. That's blue. I'll leave that. Repeats Monday through Friday. Just because I'm scheduling out my work week right now. Get rid of that. Save. You see how we're starting to block in the pieces of the flexibles? So now I know we're doing those things. Well, let's say now when we get off of work, we're going to, we didn't do that one right. So I'll edit that. 3:15 to 6. Let's say I get off work at 6. This and following events. And all of a sudden it's corrected. Let's say on the way home, I'm going to grab groceries. You see how it's starting to create a intentionality about my day. I'm going to make this I don't know how often you guys go through stuff, but let's customize it. And let's say it's going to be every week, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, I'll go grocery shopping. Done. Save. And you see it's starting to block this out. So you see now we're quickly seeing that, oh, okay, I still have this gap right here in my 15-minute break in the afternoon. I'm going to plug in, I've got all my flexibles. I've got grocery shopping and dishes and meals and laundry and everything. I've got all my have-tos blocked in there. And now I see that I've got a gap on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. I've got these gaps right here all week. And then I still have these days from 6 on and from 7 on. And I have time before. So you're starting to see where your gaps are. And then we can take it and you go to your flexibles and you say, okay, I'm going to practice the guitar 2 days a week. You know what? I'm going to do it 15 minutes here. And we'll make that repeat on Tuesday. and Friday. And we'll make that the guitar. Save. Whoops, I don't need an hour, so just click on it, edit it. Change it from 10 to 10:15. Save this and all the following, and repeat. Now we've got laundry, guitar, still got a blank there and there. I'm like, okay, well, this in the afternoon, I'm going to read all after in the afternoons. I'm just going to take this 15-minute break and I'm going to read. That way I can get through my 12 books throughout the year. You see how this is starting to come together, and it's starting to look like an actual calendar where you know what to do. If you then open your calendar every day and take a look at this, it will show you this is what I'm doing at 8 o'clock. This is what I do on Mondays at 10 o'clock. This is what I do after lunch, the dishes. I read at my 15-minute break. Because if you don't block this out and respect it, you know what happens with your breaks at work? You pull out your phone and you sit there and you go, and the 15 minutes is wasted. And people do this for their hour lunch break as well. They waste the hour at lunch. They waste 15 minutes in the morning. They waste 15 minutes in the afternoon. And then they're like, I don't have time. And then the first thing they do when they get off work, 30 minutes before work, they're vegging out on social media again, checking emails. It's statistically proven that if people get off work at 5, at 4:30, productivity drops. Everybody starts checking their email and their social accounts and wasting time just tapering off until it's time to walk out the door. And so if you know what you do at those times, then you're going to do those things. There's a clarity of mind when somebody goes, hey, can you help me Wednesday at 10 o'clock for our 15-minute break? And you pull out your calendar and you see there's a 15-minute break there and there's nothing in there that you have blocked. You're like, yeah, I can help you. And then what do? You click on that on your calendar and you say, help so-and-so with their thing. There's no repeat. It's just 10 to 10:15. That one day, I'll make it red or I'll make it orange so that I know it's with somebody else, or yellow with somebody else. And then I'll hit save. And now I got help so-and-so on that day. And it's blocked in. So what do you do on Wednesday? You look at your calendar. In the morning, you're like, oh, I've got to help so-and-so at 10 o'clock on our first break. And then what do? You get your break time and you run over and help them because you know you have to. And it allows you to get things done in windows of time, and that moves everything forward. If you say, I'm going to go get a 6-pack, then it is not the assumption that you're going to hit the gym every day. You have to block it and put it on your calendar. If you're going to start a sideline business and this is what your day looks like, kids in the morning, W-2 all day, house duties in between, then you get home, you've got meal times, you've got getting the kids around, having family time, getting them in bed, cleaning the house, straightening them up, and then you've got a business to run. When I block out my calendar, this is a look at my calendar. It starts from midnight. I've got my sleep blocked in. I actually blocked that on the calendar. I've got workout and pray every morning, Bible studies, time with my girls, meetings throughout the day, and then I've got time with my girls in the evenings. And I actually color code everything so that I know when I look at my calendar, anything in purple is time with my girls. Anything in orange is God time with other people. Anything in yellow is a meeting with someone, a person. Anything in blue is my personal time, not even with my family, my time. Anything in red is just like something super important that needs to stand out. And I've created habits to where I know my schedule now. I wake up and I don't look at social media. I open my calendar. I'm like, what do I got going on today? At the end of the day before bed, I don't look at social media. I open my calendar. I'm like, what's up the next morning? Live your life off respecting your time, and the rest of the world will start to respect your time as well. And this is how you master your schedule, master your time, and you're able to take that and pour it into what God's given you. So if God says your business is your priority and you're not putting it on your calendar, you think you're just going to work on it when you have time, it's not going to work. You say you're going to lose weight, you're going to get in shape, not going to happen unless it's blocked and you understand the value of your time. I hope this was helpful. I know it's a lot. I know it may seem basic to some of you. If it seems basic, I'll ask you, do you have a calendar where you block everything? If not, then it's not too basic. Get in and actually do it. Because most likely, if you don't have your stuff blocked out and you're following a schedule, you're probably have excuses on a lot of things of why you're not getting things done. You probably feel like you would like to get more things done. You probably feel like at times when you get down, you're thinking, other people are crushing it and I'm not. This is why. It's the simple things that people don't do because they're too simple, and they don't do consistently because we're not focused on simple things, simple habits, and systems that create rhythms of winning. We're just trying the next thing. But when you take control of your time, learn to respect and value your time, and then block it out and respect it, and then show up every day and live by it, I guarantee you your goals this year will actually happen. But if you just try to make them happen and you trust your discipline, it ain't going to work. Tony Robbins said once, discipline will always fail, but reasons never will. A reason gives you the push and the drive when things get really hard. Your calendar and things like this are simple little systems and tricks that just support that. They're the daily actionable steps. And I've noticed that's where most people fail to actually put it into practice. So I hope this serves you. I understand the value of time, and I thank you for giving me some of your time today. I hope it was valuable. I hope this works for you. In the comments, I'd love to hear what you thought. If this is good and it works for you and you start doing it, share a picture of your calendar. Whether you're watching on YouTube, Facebook group, my profile, whatever, I don't care. I'd love to see it. So post a picture of your calendar. Post a picture of your have-tos, flexibles, and your wants so I can see your lists and we can cheer and celebrate those with you. As you move into 2024, I want you to win. I really do. I don't want you to have a bunch of empty goals again this year and find yourself next year going, well, this will be my year. It never happens. Okay? Make these lists. Block your time. Understand you're a vapor in the wind, and it's important that you take control of your time and that you serve people to the highest of your ability. And this is the first step to doing that. If you do those things, I guarantee you'll win. So put it in the comments. I'd love to see your stuff. I'd love to hear what you thought, and have an awesome week, an awesome Christmas since we are approaching that time of year. And we will catch you guys next week. See ya.